To find the volume of a rectangular prism, of any prism, use the formula volume equals the area of the base times the height. Here we have two different triangular prisms. They're both oriented slightly different. If you look at the one on the left, you can tell that it's a triangular prism because there are two identical sides that are triangles. In this case, those triangle bases are on the top and bottom. For the blue one here on the right, the identical triangles are on the front and the back. So to find the volume of a triangular prism, you always first find the area of that triangle base. And then what you're multiplying it by is the distance between the two triangles. So you go from each of the corners of the triangles and you connect them. On the one on the left, we might refer to that distance as the height. It's the height of that rectangular or that triangular prism. But the one on the right, because of the way it's oriented on this table, we might refer to that as the length. So it's important not to get tripped up on the wording and how it's labeled, especially in a word problem. You're always just finding the area of the triangle base and you're multiplying it by the distance between the two triangles, whether we refer to it as a height if our prism is vertical on a table like this, or as the length if it is laying down on its side like this. So let's look at a word problem. Now, I'm going to admit that this word problem is slightly confusing, but hopefully we can make some sense out of how it is worded. It says an 11-meter length connects the triangular front and back of a shed roof. So let's look at the triangular front and back. So already we can see that they are the same triangle. This is a triangular prism. It says the base of the front triangle measures 4 meters. Find the height of the roof's front and back if the volume is 66 cubic meters. So they are giving us the volume, so we know we're using the volume formula for a triangular prism, which is the area of the base times the height. So volume, they're telling us, is 66. So we're going to use that in order to find what? Well, notice they are saying find the height. So are we solving for h here? No, this is where it's confusing. They want to find the height of the roof's front and back. So it's actually asking for the height of one of these triangles. Well, do we know the base length of a triangle? Let's look. It tells us the base of the front triangle is 4. What other information are they giving us? What does this 11 mean? It says the 11-meter length. All right, length. They're talking about the length of this shed. So this is one of those cases where they're calling this the length, not the height. So instead of h, let's just change that to L. The volume of this triangular prism is the area of the bases of those triangles in the front and back times the length of the shed, the distance between the two bases, this 11. So what I'm going to first do is find the area of the bases of the triangles. by substituting in the volume and the length of my shed. So let's solve this. I'm going to undo this multiplying by 11 by dividing by 11. And I can see that the area of the bases is 6. So the area of one of these here, one of these triangles, is 6. So how can we then use that to find the height of the roof? This is where it can also get confusing because we're referring to this as the area of the base, and now let's think of it as the area of a triangle. Because in the formula for the area of a triangle, we use the word base. So again, using the same word so it can get confusing. So if the area of the triangle is 6, let's think of the formula for the area of a triangle. And that is 1/2 times the base of the triangle times the height of the triangle. And what do we know? We know the base of the triangle is 4. Remember, it says that right here. So if the area is 6 and the base is 4, let's substitute that into the formula. So how do we solve this for h? Well, on the right side, we have 1/2 times 4. Do we know what 1/2 times 4 is? What's 1/2 of 4? 2. So on the right side, we just have a 2 times an h. Now, to undo this multiplying by 2 to get h by itself, I'm going to divide by 2. I need to do that on both sides. And what do we find? We find that h equals 3. So the height of the shed is 3 meters.